Hi guys, and thank you for tuning in to Mind Innovations Cruising with the Coach. Today has been a very long day for me. I know that it probably has for you too. I'm just about to wind down. I just had to get out and take a ride, so I said, hey, why not chat with my ambassadors today? Hope you're feeling good, doing good. Just been thinking as I've been driving and taking a look around. Sometimes we are reluctant to say thank you just for where we are in life and for the things that we have right now. And so I kind of wanted to take a moment out just to tell God thank you for everything. Because as I look at it, I'm on my way to where I need to be. But where I am right now, I can't even complain. It's like, I think about, last year. I'm about 10 steps ahead of myself than where I was last year. So I think that I've been making some good progress. I decided to go take a walk around the mall and see what they have and this and that. There's really nothing else to do. I don't really hang out or go to clubs. Don't have very many friends, and the friends that I do have are married. I'm a single lady, so I can't pull my girlfriends out like I want to, but hey. So I'm a solo queen. You see me, you see my kids. You don't see my kids, you see me, and that's just how it is. That's how I roll right now. That's that single life, y'all. But anyway, living a life of abundance and being at peace with yourself, these are things that you find yourself doing often. And I'm okay with that. I'm very happy with myself and my progress and who I've become. Let me just say that, so, I don't no longer have to consult people to get a validation for what it is that I want to do. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do. And the instructions that I go by, actually, are ones from up above. And so with that being said, I encourage you, that, if you're going through anything, if you got things in your mind that you want to do, you got goals that you need to achieve, but the chaos of life has set in place and you feel like, man, I'm stuck. I can't do this. I can't do that. Start talking to God. Get yourself in a position or a place where you can just hear from Him. Sometimes silence is the best place to be. In silence, because in the midst of silence, you can hear that voice. I'm telling you can hear that voice, because it was in silence that I had to position myself in order to get to where I am, so that I could start my journey into where I am going. And again, I say I'm not where I want to be or where I need to be, but I'm on my way. I am definitely on my way. A work in progress is what they call it, or whatever. But I no longer accept judgments from people and things that they have to say, because at the end of the day, people in this world don't even matter, because I realize this: if you're doing good, they got something to say about you. If you're doing bad, they got something to say about you. So you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. It doesn't even matter, And for people, that are trying to make a living and doing all that they can, or what they're able to do, what's within their means for the time being. And I'm talking mainly, I'm really talking to, you hustlers or whatever, because I've been there before. I like to be very transparent with my history or whatever. I'm not gonna paint a picture to anyone and say, oh, I was born into wealth and my people gave me this. Nobody gave me a doggone thing. I worked hard for what I have right now. And it's by the grace of God that He allowed me the manifestations that I actually work towards to actually manifest themselves in the palm of my hands. And with that being said, I have to say that God has shown out. He has shown out. I can safely say that now I am living my best life. My best life. And it wasn't always easy. I've been through some horrible relationships. Of course, everyone knows that I'm a single parent, mother of 9. I raised all my kids on my own. or whatever. So it wasn't always easy. It was a period of life where, I was out there. I was out there in them streets. Some of you boys and girls know about me out there. And I'm not bragging. It's really disgusting to me, some of the things that I had to do. But at that time, and the mindset that I had at that point in my life, I can't say that I knew better, because I didn't. I did exactly what my mind and what my heart told me to do. And through that, I thought that, I was in a great place and nobody could tell me anything. And I was this and I was that. But at the end of the day, I was everything that I felt like people thought of me. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be accepted. I didn't want anybody to say, she got all them kids, can't take care of them. No. I hustled hard. I hustled hard to get the ends in to feed my fam bam. And, with that being said, for all you single parents, male or females, because there's more male single parents now than there is female single parents now, I realize that, we got to do what we have to do. So keep doing what you're doing until you're able to do a little bit better, because God got you. He got you. And where you think, you got those people saying, oh, you doing such and such to do such and such or whatever, just know that in the middle of what you're doing, God has a call in your life. And if you the best hustler, you making money doing this, you making money doing that, that's a gift. That's a gift. What happens is the enemy allows you to think that gift that you have is for his works. But it's not. It's not. It's not. All of that is temporary. All of that is temporary. You've never heard of anyone making a honest to God living going to jail for it. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Yes, I am encouraging everyone to be doing the right thing, of course. Do anything within your power to not get yourself robbed of your freedom, of your peace, of your finances, and anything else. You have to make sure that you put yourself in a safe haven, so to speak. I didn't always have this mindset that I have now. Life had to teach me through various circumstances and things of that nature. I've been homeless, living with my relatives, never been under the bridge or streets. I can't relate to that. But to me, it's all the same thing. My form of handling was to go to the DHS office, that's the Department of Human Services, and ask for food stamps to feed my kids. That's like a modern day panhandling for me, because it helped me at the time. So I'm not discouraging anyone. I'm not discrediting anyone for receiving government's assistance, but all of that is exactly what it is. It's an assistance. It's an assistance that you take advantage of when you need it. But you also, while you're taking advantage of assistance, you're making a way for yourself on the other end. You're developing a foundation for yourself to stand strong on when that assistance is no longer available. And believe me, the world that we're living in today and the things that we are going through with this political chaos that's going on and everything, some of that stuff not going to be available. It's just not going to be available. And I can't stress enough for people to take life serious. We're coming into some days where we need to be prepared. And the way we're going to have to live, it's not going to be going to go rob somebody for what they worked hard for. No, you're going to have your own. You're going to have your own. It's one of the things that I teach in my life enrichment course. It's a curriculum that I authored. It talks about having the different perception of your current situation and how to think forward. for yourself, and how to build a foundation for yourself, how to get plans into place, and how to write them down and make them plain, and be able to live a life of abundance and peace and just financial freedom, just like everyone else. I mean, that's available. You are not set aside. You are not a sore thumb. You are able to fit into God's kingdom like everybody else. I don't care what you're doing. You could be sliding down a pole. Because guess what? At one time in my life, I thought I was going to have to slide down a pole. It's just that I never made it to the club. I never made it to the club, and I aspired to be a stripper. One thing I thought was I was pretty, I had a nice shape, and I knew how to dance. So I wanted to do that. I did. So I don't knock anybody for what they do. However you got to get it. But all I'm saying is there's a better way. There's a more modest way. There's a legal way. There's a way that's within you that no man knows about. There's something inside of you that's tied to my life, the people that are connected to you's life. It's connected to a lot of people. But if you don't put forth the effort to believe in yourself enough to bring forth the gifts that are within you, then you'll forever be in your current state. I tell people all the time, however old you are, you could be 20. You'll be 20 years old for a long time. If you don't grow up mentally, you'll forever be where you are right now. There's so much out here. We sit back, we look at millionaires and billionaires, and we look at them with awe, and we're feeding them money, feeding them to them, going to see them at their shows, and that's okay. That's fine, that's okay. But at the end of the day, just think, you could be just like that too. There's a talent inside of you. There's a company inside of you. There's a corporation. There's a medical facility. There's a sales business. There's some type of trinket or some type of technology device that's within you that could benefit the world if you just take the first step. And that first step is to get your mind right. Begin to forward think about your future and what you want to do. It's true. I tell my kids all the time, I was that parent, I'm big on education. But I wasn't big on sending my kids to college. And I'm not, again, don't write me no letter, don't email me, don't say I'm telling any of your kids or I'm encouraging anybody not to go to school. I am not saying that. I am not doing that. Go to school by any means necessary. Go to school or get back into school. Get your education. But what I'm saying is, I didn't enforce college on my kids, but they had to finish high school. And I have my reasons. For that. Number one, I ask my kids all the time, what is it that you want to do in life? And predominantly all of them, I guess, from watching my moves and the way I sway through life, then, most of them wanted to own their own businesses. So, of course, I would ask them, what type of business do you want to own? And they would tell me, and they would share with me. And then I'd say, well, are you going to college? Some of them said yes. Some of them said no. I was okay with the yes. I was okay with the no. I was okay with the no. Because I have 3 out of the 9 that are adults that are successful business owners, doing very well, extremely well, branching out into other states with their businesses. So it's really, and did not go to college. Have a great savings plan. Future is bright. Have established things that they know that they're going to need to rely on for the future or whatever. But there was no college or anything like that into place. I was just that one that chose not to do that. And again, I'm not encouraging encouraging you not to go to college. But why go to have somebody tell you what you already know? You want to be a surgeon? You want to be a surgeon? Yeah, you got to go and get training and you know, get developed in that area. Yes, of course. There are a multitude of things that, you know, that are inside of you that you want to do, that you need the training, you need the education, you need to further your knowledge thereof of the gift that you have. Of course, that is true. But for some of us, we could use the University of YouTube to do whatever it is that we got to do. Whatever it is that we have to do. My financial status changed and pretty much catapulted everything. You know, not because I went to college, but because I used my mind. And, you know, I did what I know that I needed to do in an effort to have that business, you know, pop. Be something that people needed to benefit from. And because of that, I am where I am today. And I'll share more about, you know, my personal life with you later on in another video. It's just that, you know, I like to touch on things like that because a lot of people feel like they can't do anything, they can't do this because they need a college degree. Let me tell you something about a college degree. I know people with double majors, all kinds of engineering degrees, and don't have a job. Masters, don't have a job. I quit my job last year. I worked for a Department of Education. And when I applied for the position, it was said that I had to have a degree. I fulfilled the position as a temp. Then the position went on sale, pretty much, you know, it became available. And so, of course, I had first choice to apply for that position. And let me tell you how God worked in my favor. It was said that 28 people applied for that position, including me. 28 people. They all had bachelor's, associates, masters, and doctorates for the position that I was a temp in. Pay attention. I end up getting the position. The people at HR were so flabbergasted that they showed me my competition. And I said these things to them. I said, I used to always feel like people with those type of paperworks to define their level of education were better than me. And to say that I have beat out 27 others with credentials that's required of this particular position, I can't take any credit. I can't take any credit. Now, I knew what I was doing, and I mastered what I was doing. So I'm saying that to say this. Anything that you want to do in life, if you excel at it, you will bring it forward. God will bring you forward out of the woodwork and have everybody saying, what? He was just on the block. What? How she get? She was just... No. That's why you don't judge people. Don't judge anyone. Don't ever judge anyone, because you never know. You never know. Nobody in that Bible was perfect. Nobody. Always remember that. That's why I laugh at those heavy-weighted, I call them church people, but they're not church people. They're people that go to church a lot. You know, the ones that talk about you, degrade you because they feel like you're not where they are. You're actually above them. And that's why they do so much talking. because they feel like, there's a little bit of intimidation there. I dealt with that too. But we're not going to go there today in today's episode on the holy rollers. We're not going to do that. Because I love the Lord with all my heart. And every day I make an effort in my own imperfection to do His will and do it His way. So can't nobody tell me what my relationship is like with God. Because for a while, when I didn't know any better, I did not know any better. My mind wasn't there. That's why the saying is, when you know better, you do better, and you're not held accountable for what you don't know. I used to sell drugs just to pay my tithing in church because I loved to go to church. I loved hearing the word of God. And I knew that I wanted to give something. I wanted to give something. I wanted to put something in that plate. So when I hustled some of that money, and it wasn't no 10% because I ain't know all them numbers and all that, I would put money, big money, in the church. Now the amount of money, it has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Nothing to do with what I'm saying at all. So with that being said, the only thing that I could tell you is pretty much do what you do, but be cognizant of your future and how you move in doing things. If you want to get a little bit more, a little bit more insight, get a little bit more details, you can always go to www.coachcassandracitizen.com and go to my blogs and read a little bit of information, where I share things from my heart, things about my life, as it relates to, where I am now. One thing about this channel, you are not going to find any big eyes and no little U's, period. I feel like, we're all in a place where we probably, want to excel from. And there's a way to do that. And my role here with you is to stand by your side and walk with you as you journey onto your success. I want to be your coach. I want to stand by your side. I want to help you do things that you think are impossible. I want to help you see yourself in a better place. I want to be able to help you put that plan into action, actually, and do what's within my power to assist you with any needs that you should have, that I'm able to do to help you. Anything that I could do to assist and to help you, I would like to do that. Sometimes a word of encouragement goes a long way. Goes a long way, but of course everyone's life is different. A lot of us don't wake up into positivity. We have that negative going in our ear. And one thing about the subconscious mind, you have to be careful about what you feed it. So what you hear all the time is what you actually believe all the time. And that's a bad place to be. That's a very bad place to be for those of us, or those of you who have received negative input, negative insight. It's always negative. You're not going to do this. You're not going to. You know how many people told me I wasn't going to be anything? I had some family members, say close family members, that has told me I wasn't going to do anything with my life. Just because they felt like, I'm assuming, I wasn't where they wanted me to be. You don't have to deal with that. You do not have to deal with that. You are somebody. The fact that, if you're working, hustling, whatever you're doing, you have enough mental capacity to understand that you got to make money in order to survive in this world. And also just feedback from others. You got to know how to tune that out. You gotta know how to tune that out. And I'm careful when I say that, because some positive, things that people speak over your life are not for you. It's just not for you. It's not for you, period. I was told I was going to be so many things, and I actually pursued education in those things and training in those things, and no. I am actually not anything that people said that I was going to be. Anything. Far from it. I'm exactly what God had created me to come here to this earth to do and become. That's who I am. That's who I am. But I wasn't always there mentally. I was just like some of you all that are listening. I knew I had a good heart. I knew I wanted to do something with my life. I knew I wanted to do things for people. But because I believed everything that people were telling me, because I didn't know who I was. I wanted to be other people, basically. I was living above my means. Then I got to the point where I lived below my means. It just confused all the way around. And we all know that God is not the author. This is not a channel for church, to be honest. But I reference God every chance that I get, because that man upstairs, whoo! When I tell you, when I didn't have nobody and nothing, that's who saved me. That's who saved me. It wasn't the preacher. It wasn't the teacher. It wasn't my mom, my dad, my sister, brother, cousin. It wasn't anyone. It was God himself. And I cannot take credit, and no one can take credit for who I have become today in this world. No one, not even me. I can't even take credit for who I have become. Can't do it. So with that being said, you just got to know what you know and believe that it is so, because that's another thing. Belief. There's power in believing. If you believe where you see yourself going, or what you see yourself becoming, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's like the law of reciprocity, basically. What you give into your soul, it comes back to you automatically. Sort of like a boomerang. It comes right back to you. It's like it's saying, back at you. Right back at you, boo. I used to always ask God to take bills from me. Oh, I wish I didn't have these bills. And then when I became homeless, I was like, a part of me was like, I wish I had my own house and my own place to stay. God, please bless me, my own place to stay and my own home, because that's just where I want to be. But basically, I was praying for what I had just asked him to take away. So you got to be careful with what you ask God for. You must be careful and specific about what you're asking him. Be very specific, because God doesn't think like we think. So what you say, words have power. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You can decree and declare a thing, and guess what? It will come forward. It will come forward. And sometimes the things that we're declaring over our life, or decreeing in our life, or having to come to pass, is this very thing that takes us out of this world. Because God didn't ordain that for you. He didn't ordain those things for us. So you must be careful. You got to get your mind set. That's why I am asking you to continue to join me Monday through Sunday. There is always something uplifting, encouraging, inspiring, something that's going to hit a home run with where you are right now. That at the end of the day, you be able to say, you know what? I was thinking that. She said it. Or, she just said something I was thinking, or she was thinking what I just said. It is something, because I think that for the most of us, we all been through the same thing, just a different situation. Just a totally different situation. So, with that being said, you guys, I want to thank you for tuning in with me today. I really did enjoy speaking with you. I hope there was something that I said that would actually inspire you to move forward with your beliefs and just continue to be who you are. Remember, tune out the naysayers, tune out the negativity. What God has for you, He has for you. Start right where you are. Make a plan. Make it plain. Follow that plan. Follow God's instructions. Know that there's always someone with you. You're not ever alone. Never alone. Not as long as you have God the Father, God the Holy Spirit. You are never alone. Never alone. Never alone. Even when He leave you, even when she walk away from you, you are never alone. Try God. I bid you, try God. Even if you don't believe Him, you don't trust Him, try it. You tried everything else, try Him. I guarantee you He will not let you down. And with that being said, I'm going to end this episode with I love you. I thank you. I am praying for you. I am cheering for you. And I would like to be your coach. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anyone that you know would benefit from it. And tune in to me next time on Mind Innovations. God bless.